else happens, we're like, when is it going to stop? What's going on? Well, that's where they were at. And so God told, as we saw in the story, He told Moses to make a serpent of bronze and stick it on a pole. Stick it on a pole, and if everybody looks at it, they'll live. That's crazy, right? I mean, just think of it. We know the story now, but they didn't know the story. And so it's like if you have cancer, well, we put cancer on a pole, all right? We put a big tumor on a pole, and if anybody looks at the tumor, you're going to live. Your cancer is going to go away. I mean, that seems ridiculous to us. That's how ridiculous looking at a snake on a pole would be to them. Yet, interesting enough, everyone that would look would live. God didn't stop the snakes. He didn't stop the snakes from coming into the camp. They still continued to come. They still continued to bite. But everyone that would look at the snake would live. Fast forward. It's a dark night. And Jesus was meeting with a man. Kind of believed in him. And he said something interesting to him. You can go to the next slide. It's in John chapter 3. John chapter 3. Verse 14. So he's talking with John. He's talking about being reborn, doing all these things. But Jesus refers back to this story. Now, this guy would have known the story. He says, and as Moses lifted up the bronze snake on a pole in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up, so that everyone who believes in him will have eternal life. And it's just that simple. If the Son of Man be lifted up, and people will look, they will live. That's cool. And so we know Jesus went on a cross. And that snake in the wilderness represented Christ himself, of what was to come. And he starts putting the pieces together for this man, Jesus does. So that if people would look, if Jesus would die on a cross, we would live. And that's probably why we're here. That's probably why we're part of a fellowship, or we come to church, because we have life. And if we don't have life, and if we've done something wrong, and we've complained, or we murmured, or we've done evil, and we've had bad thoughts, the snake has bitten us. Anyone been bitten by the snake? I constantly get bit by the snake. But I know that even though I get bit by the snake, if I still look to Christ, I still live. I still live. That's awesome. That's awesome. And now I'm going to go back the other way. All the way back to Genesis. If you go back to Genesis, God made a promise to Adam and Eve between the seed of them and the seed of the serpent. Okay? But interesting enough, it says that there would be this one that would come and he would bruise his head, all right? Or he would crush his head. He would crush the serpent's head, but his heel would be bruised. And so to stop and think for a second, the last thing you'd want to do is step on a poisonous snake. Last thing. I mean, if there was a snake there and you saw something, hey, hold on a second, let me get that. Not a very wise thing to do. But just contemplate for a second, that's what Christ was really willing to do. He was willing to put his foot out, to put his neck out, to put his life out, and to step on that snake and be bitten. Yes, he crushed it. And yes, he will crush it in the end. But it came at a price, and that was his life. And if you're worth so much, how can we doubt? So look and live. That's it. If there's something I want you to remember, is look and live. The next time you screw up, the next time you fall short, the next time you're feeling down and you start to complain, stop. Stop and just look. Stop and look. He's taking care of us. He's going to continue to take care of you. I know some are without jobs. Some wonder what's going to happen next month. Some wonder how they're going to get to church next month or next week. Keep looking to Christ. He says, seek me first, and everything you need, I will give it to you. It won't be an easy road, but we're all camping with God. I don't care where we live. I don't care where we live, what kind of house we live, we're still camping. And we're no different than they are. The great thing is that when we look, I mean, that's what this is all about. Look and live. Look and live. It's a simple message. It's a simple thing. But there's so many people that have been bitten, that we know that have been bitten, and they're not going to live. And that saddens me. That we might have friends, that we might have loved ones, that although they might see people being saved all around them and experiencing a new life, they won't look. Why won't we look? He who judges the heart knows the motives. He will not in any way cast out anyone that comes to him. And he will change the heart and change the life, and he wants to for each one of us every day. So don't feel like those stubborn ones who wouldn't do it. Look. Look, look, look. And he will more than save you. More than save you from your situation, whatever you're going through. Is that clear? What I'd like to do at this time is connect. Connect the dots where I missed them. Because I don't attempt to cover everything. But whatever God's touching you concerning this message, I'd like to just have you share with one another. What's this mean to you? What is this story? What happened here mean to you today? Okay? Again, reason? Well, we share with each other, we grow, we glean, and it's easier to share with someone else. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. So, let's break up, break out,